Hey DIYers, and welcome back to my channel. So this is the second time I've recorded this video. I did it all up the first time only to find out there wasn't any audio. So I'm going to quickly kind of just talk and discuss about what the video was and what I did on it. Alright, so I wanted to talk about making kind of like a nicotine base. Some people, they consider it the lazy way of mixing, but I don't mind doing it because I don't have to mess around with that 100 milligram nicotine strength all the time. So how I basically do my mixes, or the majority of them, I have 3 bases. You don't have to have 3. You can go with 1, you can go with 2, or you can go with 3. The option is up to you, and you don't have to do it this way. So the first base that I use is I have a 3 milligram 70 VG 30 PG mix, and this one here I'll use for, say, like flavor testing. If I have a flavor that I just want to kind of try out, get the feel for, a lot of those single flavor testings, you're going to mix it 1, 2, 3, maybe 5%. So that is where I'll use that base. When it comes to the majority of my mixes that I do, I use this one here from Liquid Barn. It's 3 milligram nic strength, 80% VG, 20% PG. So using anything above 5% of flavoring, anywhere from 5% to about 12 to 13%, that's the base that I'll use. That'll get me kind of in that 70 to 75% VG, 25% PG mix that I like to vape at. The majority of them, it's fairly cheap, and I'll take you over to the website and show you where I got it from. And they have different nicotine strengths as well. For the third one that I use sometimes, this one here is 3 milligram nicotine, 90% VG, 10% PG. So when I mix up a recipe, or say like a one shot, and say it has like 15, 16, 17, even 20% of flavoring, this is the mix that I'll use. I'll use the thicker one, so I can get it down into that 70 to 75% VG ratio that I typically like to vape at. Now when I use these bases, I usually use them with smaller recipes. If I'm making smaller amounts, anything from like 10 to 15 to 20 milliliter bottles, I'll use my bases to mix. Now when I go over, say I want to mix up something that's like a 60 mil, or a 30 mil, 100, 120, so on, I'll use each ingredient separately. So I'll put in my concentrates, I'll add my VG, my PG, and my nicotine. I'll add all those separately. That way I know that I'm getting, the 3 milligram strength that I want to get. Because in these bases, the more that you use, you're going to start to lose a little bit of that nicotine strength. Now I have mixed a 3 milligram 80% VG, 20% PG mix into a 30 ml bottle, with like 10 or 12% flavoring, and I vaped that, and I didn't have any issues. I didn't notice a difference between, whatever milligram level that was, and between a 3 milligram nicotine juice. It pretty much vaped the same to me. However, just, if you want to keep it that kind of like that 3 milligram range, you can mix each one separately when you mixing a bigger bottle. I change flavors a lot, so I tend to use a lot of the 10, the 15 mil mixes at a time. I'll make up like 2 or 3 of them, especially if it's something that I'm trying out, and I mix like that. So this is just an option. It's just what I do. Like I said, you don't have to have all 3 bases. You can just have one base. But when I mix on this channel, I will use the bases because I don't have to worry about messing around with that 100 milligram strength nicotine. So if I happen to get one of the bases on my hands, it's just a simple wipe off because it's only 3 milligram nicotine strength. Alright, so we're going to go over to Liquid Barn real quick, and I'm just going to show you real quickly the prices on their bases. Alright, so here we are over on liquidbarn.com. To get their bases, you want to go to your basic e-liquids right there. Alright, this will come up. So for 0 milligram nicotine strength, a 500 milliliter bottle, which is the same size bottle that I have, it'll run you $7.49. For 3 milligram strength, which is the one that I use, that runs you $7.99. They also have a 6 milligram strength, which is $8.49, and they have a 12 milligram strength, which is $8.99. Alright, and if you look down here, it'll tell you your VG-PG ratio that you're pretty much going to end up with for each one that you buy. I usually get to 3 milligram strength, so it's 19.7% PG. Vegetable glycerin is at 80%, and then 3% nicotine. Alright, so that is just a really quick view over on liquidbarn.com. How I mix this up, and I also think eCig Express, I think they have their base mixes as well. I can't remember if there's nicotine in there or not, or if it's just the VG to PG. I just find it easier to use a calculator and to mix my bases according to that. So I'm going to take you over to the calculator that I did use when I mixed up my 3 milligram 90 VG 10% PG mix in the video that had simply no audio. Alright, so I'm going to take you over to that right now. Let's get off of liquidbarn.com. Alright, so I used eliquidrecipes.com. I went to create a recipe. I simply made 200 milliliter bottle at 3 milligram nicotine. My PG I wanted at 10%. My VG I wanted at 90%. The milligram strength of nicotine that I used is 100 milligram, and it is suspended in PG. So if you go down here, this gives me my values. I would mix the 100% PG nicotine at 6.22 grams, PG at 14.51 grams, and VG at 226.98 grams, which is what went into my bottle, and it gave me 200 milliliters of base. And my ending ratio is 3 milligram, 10% PG, 90% VG. So that's pretty simple. You know, if you wanted to make an 80-20 mix, you know, you would just move your PG to 20 and your VG to 80. So you can mess around and make different ratios and all of that. So that was just a simple, quick way. What I did is I mixed it on the scale and did it up like that. But fortunately, there's no audio. So anyway, that's real quickly how I make my bases. It's just an option for you if you want to do it. You don't have to. And like I said, when I do make those bigger recipes, you know, something that's like a 50 milliliter bottle or something like that, I'll make some, you know, individually instead of just using a base mix, so I can make sure that I'm staying at around that 3% milligram strength. So there you go, guys. There's my video, and remember, just mix it. Thank you for watching.